training. They've kind of funneled us into using video conferencing technologies. Although limited in its ability really to get certain points across, at least it gives us some point of contact.
Okay. Have any other states used? See, I knew my friend from Massachusetts would come through for me. Come on. And this is Tom Colleen from New York for anyone who wants to have an additional talk with him.
Good morning. I'm Millie Garcia-Serrano with Mass DEP in the Southeast region. In Mass DEP, for example, the program that I work in, the Bureau of Wayside Cleanup, it's a privatized program that commenced approximately 15, 20 years ago. So we have a very strong history of the private sector pretty much taking over the response actions, assessments, and cleanups. And furthermore, that really served to facilitate and get at the worst sites in terms of ensuring that we have immediate response action when warranted. New Jersey, we testified and we supported their also vision to move into the privatization of their cleanup program. And I believe the regs are coming out, and they have an independent board licensing site professional board that will be tasked with ensuring that the cleanups and all the different response actions do continue at a rapid pace. So privatization was one of our techniques numerous years ago, but as you noted, Cheryl, in 2001 and now we are experiencing significant shortfalls. And one of the strategies that we've attempted to use at least, and it actually proved very successful in 2001, was the doing some triaging, some risk reduction up front to ensure that sites that are progressing through a very long cleanup process, we're not waiting for the end to ensure that we have some attainable and responsible cleanup remedy selection. So we're trying to fast forward, just getting at some effective triaging up front and trying to prioritize our work. And also from the logistical side, we have also supported telecommuting. And I think that's a very important issue because a lot of staff have the ability to execute work. There's accountability to be had. There's lesson time and travel time. These are very difficult times right now. And if we can assist our staff by just providing them with a little bit of opportunity just to get at, for example, a satellite office at a quicker pace, get there, do the work, and get out, I think we would have a little bit more, a higher morale, larger productivity, and overall it's a win-win. So thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Okay. For those of you who are from more southern states, this is Millie, and she's from Massachusetts. Okay, I'm going to pass the mic to New Jersey back here and ask if you can kind of follow up a little bit on what Millie was just talking about.
Sure. Thank you, Cheryl. It's Ken Clue, New Jersey DEP. We are implementing probably all of those strategies that are listed on your slide in some form or another. They're all too familiar to us, as probably to many of you. But as Millie stated, the biggest and most dramatic change that we've made is that we are moving, just like Massachusetts had several years ago, to a privatized program where we are going to be licensing environmental professionals to do conduct the remediation activities that we have always overseen, but in this case they'll be now allowed to make final decisions with only some departmental review and audit at the end of the process. So that was, as a result of just having an increasing workload and a decreasing staff, and us coming to the realization that there was no way that we could possibly ever deal with the number of cases that we needed to process each year, especially if we wanted to put properties back into productive use and protect our citizens. So.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so I need to pick somebody else. Okay, that's fine. Now I want you to know that I'm taking a real chance here because I'm getting ready to come over here to my boss, who I have to live with.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of you.
I know.
What are you asking me?
Talk about what we're doing in South Carolina.
Oh, well, like most of you, we're doing many of the things that are listed up there. And in addition, we have, at least in compliance and enforcement, we started a pilot project to allow our regional offices. We have 12 regional offices in 8 regions in our state, and we allow them to do, at least in our solid waste program, not hazardous waste, we allow them to do some of the lower level enforcement actions themselves, actually drafting the order through a template process and even conducting the enforcement conferences and that kind of thing. And that's been very successful. And in fact, we're doing the same thing in our AIR program. So it's a way to utilize our resources a little better and get some more compliance.
All right. Okay, so we've heard three. We've heard privatization. We've heard telecommuting, we've heard use of technology, and then we've heard expanding opportunities for staff to conduct some of the activities that may have been conducted in another office. Has anyone had increased use of technology that they can share some things that they're doing in their state? To talk a little bit about what you use, how you're using technology to better conduct the activities that you have in your state.
I'm Richard Spees with the state of Vermont, and many of you states have maybe experienced this, but in the last 2 years, we've put a web access program on our website. It's called WMID, for Waste Management Identification, and it's a GIS-based site program. And we've linked a lot of our first letters and key reports to that, so that a lot of the calls, we're a very hands-on state. We were getting a lot of calls from developers, adjusters, and bankers asking questions about hazardous waste sites that are located near properties that they were developing. And this has diverted a lot of those questions from our program. We would direct people to the web, and it's very hands-on. We were clever enough to hire a smart young gentleman getting out of university who understands computers a lot better than probably many people in this room. And he did a fantastic job of putting that together, and it saved us a lot of time answering questions and fielding phone calls.
Okay. All right. One of the things that Millie talked about was staff, and recognizing that in addition to what we're going through from a governmental level, many people are having to do some balancing in their personal lives, and she mentioned telecommuting and some other strategies that her state is using in order to facilitate that for staff, to help them be able to serve their families as they should. That should be their first priority, but also complete their responsibilities as a government official. How are some of you using technology or strategies or programs that you have implemented in your state to better enable staff to do their job and also meet the needs of their family? Hi, Ed. I love you too.
I knew I sit in the wrong place. I'm Ed Thamkin with the state of Montana. I'm on the board representing Region 8. And we allow flexible work schedules and telecommuting. But I wanted to touch on the previous question that Richard actually had discussed too. We've got 3 e-government projects that we're working on in Montana in our asbestos control program, which predominantly is clean air across the country, but we managed to get lucky enough to inherit that in our RCRA programs. We have an online permitting program and accreditation and payment, so that the professionals who are doing the abatements can now go online to get their accreditation and to pay for their accreditation. And we're soon moving into the next phase where they can pay for and get their project permits online as well. And what we have found is that frees up our 2.5, actually 3 FTEs in that program, pretty small program, so we can go out and do a better job with compliance assistance instead of the administrative burden. Another e-government project that just came up and online is our UST leak prevention program. We have the Energy Act requires owner-operator training now, and we have an online service where they have a series of videos and training they can go through and take their examination. And it's free service to our stakeholders, and that's just got rolled out last week, but that's proving to be a pretty popular program. And let's see, I said 3, didn't I? I'm looking at Chuck like he would know. Well, I can't remember the 3rd one. So, Cheryl, back to you, and don't call on me again.
Okay. Okay, well, since you're clapping, I'll come to you.